stream set up. We'll be live soon. going to go live in about 30 seconds, so get ready for the stream. Everybody, welcome to the stream. Alright, so we've got Colombia Revolution versus Boston Brute Squad today. We're going to cover the first half with this live stream, unless we get like really tied up in the details, and might just be the first third. Today we're going to try something a bit new. We've got two people on voice chat with me who are going to be going through the game with us. So we've got Noah from the Brighton Club.
Hey guys.
And we've got Kim from Goldfingers.
Hi everybody.
Goldfingers are based in Potsdam in near Berlin, Germany. Okay, so let's go straight into the game. We've got the rosters coming up. Noah, do you know, you said something about Revolution picking up a player?
Yeah, they picked up Jesse Schaffner just before. I heard that announcement in maybe like February or something, which could have been big for the like 2020 season. Not sure if that season's happening.
I'll just be postponed. 2021. Everything's 2021 now.
Yeah.
So yeah, Jesse Schaffner, that's a great pickup. And I think she fits the style of the team very well as well. Like Jesse's got great like quick disc movement and dribbling skills. Let's get the first point going.
Certainly to know. We are underway in the 2019 U.S. Open Women's Championship game. Amber Sinnecroat receives the pull. First completion to
Brute Squad fielding the pull. It's like a side stack.
What a pickup she has been, launching deep immediately.
I thought that was a defender. There's an observer in the background. Let's have a quick look at that one again. So they got their side stack perhaps, and it floods over to... Oh no, it's like it's maybe just a horizontal with two on the far side being close. So maybe these two players here were isolated. She gets very free deep. Guess this defender stops that undercut. And then boom, that's a fair shot. I think if we're able to get the disc to float down nicely, it's just overcooked. We can skip through the bits with the discs on the floor.
Much depth on that deep shot.
Yeah, it looks like it might have been a set pull play. All the pieces were in place, but the release on that throw coming just a touch too soon.
For those who were with us for the semifinals,
Mosquera is very difficult to defend. Like she's really fast and tall.
Had opportunities to break Riot early, were unable to do so, and fell behind 4-0.
It's a simple execution, looked like.
Great chances at the start today.
Immediately thinking that like they look more organic.
Teams know each other
Brute Squad
quite
looked like they
well.
ran a
They've had
set play.
number of battles. US Open
Brute
this
Squad now
year.
out of
They
vertical.
met in the semifinals at the World Ultimate Club Championships last year in Ohio.
How did she get that much separation deep?
Late in the first half and then
Let's have a-
continued
oh,
in an indoor venue later that night, laying out for
Wow.
this one and in the end zone.
Oh,
For the Brute Squad score.
Feels like that first deep throw should have been thrown to you, right?
Yeah, let's have a look at that one. So like
What a
foul on
grab
mark
though!
there.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that was insane. Here we go. So the separation comes here. It just doesn't seem to be too concerned
They met in the
about it.
semifinals at the World Ultimate Club Championships last
I think she thinks she's just going to clear out into the stack.
year in Ohio.
But then the disc advances right there up here, and then there's that. I mean, there's. I don't know why they're not throwing that. That's a lot of separation.
That was the game that was interrupted late in the first half and then continued at an indoor venue.
And then that's not so
later
much
that night.
separation, but insane grab.
This one.
Keep in mind, Felix, that we're seeing like the footage when the stream is, not when you are.
Hmm.
So we're a bit behind.
Yeah, a few seconds.
Mhm.
Let's find the replay of that catch. That's the Revolution turnover. Oh, sick.
For its intended receiver, this time Brute Squad looking a little more polished.
Nice. So why do you think that deep throw wasn't thrown? Like the first one?
I really don't know. I think it should have been thrown. Maybe it's just such a structured offense that it's not the first throw they looked to, so therefore it wasn't the first throw that went. But you've got to think that you should be throwing to that sort of separation.
Yeah, it could be a bit of like it's not her role on the team, and it's more role based.
I mean, it could also be that you know, when they're expecting the deep throw, they're expecting a cut under first and then a cut straight deep. So seeing that deep throw come off basically the back of the stack might be like a shock to the system, sort of.
Can leave you wanting more.
That's an absolutely fair point. So much is going well in the Brute Squad system.
It's hard to see where the sideline is, so it's this yellow line
Yeah,
just
you
above
don't
the
want to hang
scoreboard.
too much on a single point.
Nice save. Who have we got in the chat? Say hello, and if you have any comments or questions, then yeah, use the YouTube live chat. I'm checking it all the time, and there's very little latency here, which means that when you type, it takes about 5 seconds for me to see it.
Cammy Groom catches the under. Cammy certainly played a lot of offense in her career, but thought of more so as a defensive player. But with Leanne Hoffman not 100%, she was warming up to see how it felt, unsure of whether she would play. As Werfele lets it fly, looking for Groom, and what a throw. Perfectly placed over the defense. Cartagena left to no avail, and Brute Squad takes a 2-0 lead.
Oof.
That throw very much off mark.
Just having a look at the replays.
From Werfele. I have become
It's just like a
such
high inside out, wasn't it? And I think the defender could have got a bid on this.
Yeah, I think there's definitely more the defender could have done.
Yeah, it's a bit of a mystery just to get underneath it there. Probably thinking that the offense was right on her back.
Mm-hmm.
The offense peels off. The offense peels off almost too much, really. Like,
Yeah.
But it works.
I mean, maybe this Revolution player thinks they need to get over the top of the player in front of them. Like they're thinking, oh, I need to contest the person right there with the disc, and not thinking about the person behind them that much.
Yeah. That is it. She actually puts their hand up as well. Like, I'm gonna get it. And so yeah, going up against her. Yeah, well spotted.
And I'm missing flags in the background. They're always quite a good indicator what wind conditions we're looking at.
True. Yeah, there's
There's
nothing really we can see on the screen that tells us about the wind.
Lots of space behind the playing field for that.
Yeah, can have loads of flags.
Especially in the bracket play.
What's that? I'll just rewind this and look at the like the setup, the kind of like positioning. Like they have a triangle here, and then like downfield players.
Did look suspiciously hexy, didn't it?
just,
Nice spreads.
Just for a second, you know, they
You know, like two line, not just horizontal. They're like sort of two divisions of cutters.
Yeah, with also I think with also a lot of the players being downfield of the disc, because in horizontal then you've got two handlers at level with the disc, and in vertical you've got one player behind. In hex, everybody's in front. Mauricio Moore, the coach of Colombia, actually said to me once that Revolution sometimes run their own version of Hex. So maybe there's some principles taken from it. See whether they go downfield. Look at the spacing here. Yeah, just they're all. It's all almost even kind of spacing, you know. So you don't need like ideal. You don't need the overall shape to be ideal. For like the spacing can just generate like quick passes and options and rhythm, and means people can work together to kind of create space for each other as well.
And when those two Revolution offense players did sort of bunch up about 6 seconds back, their Boston didn't manage to surround, didn't manage to cut off both the options. It just got free open. So
Yeah.
even like that huge amount of space on the pitch was sort of generated by two of the cutters being at the same place, and then that couldn't be capitalized from the defense.
Right. Yeah. Because the defense would have had to like sandwich.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to find that exact moment. We've got some chat in the chat. I love that the first message is there a reason there's a transparent box below you in the stream? And then it comes up in the box, obviously. Oh, now I see. Hey, Jemima, good to see you back. I mean, I guess Jemima, is Jemima like the name of your team, right? And you're just kind of managing the account. Yeah, the layout by Brute earlier was awesome. So that person just called "This is great."
Here's Manuela Cárdenas. Turned 20
Good name.
last week. Her twin
Great name.
sister Valeria,
Terrific.
superstar in the 33 jersey as well.
I would say definitely more of a great name than a terrific name.
I still like this kind of like shape, you know, like they're not surrounding the disc. They do have a player behind, but then this player behind is connected to this player here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a lot of options around, aren't there? There's a lot of close options, so it doesn't look like they're under a huge amount of pressure. There's always someone free. Now they're a little bit over rotated, so they've just flooded downfield a little bit much because they're near the end zone.
Yeah, because we've got like 3 players looking for the inside space.
Yeah. So here's the cut. Let's just have a quick look at how the cut develops. It's just simple. Like this marking is. I think the marking shouldn't be this tight. I think being tight and looking at the player, it gives the offense too much control. And if she took a step back and looked at the disc, she'd be able to know when she'd have to be tight and when she should be loose. And this situation, you know, the throw is going to go on the open side at exactly that moment.
Mm. It's the tight defense thing, isn't it? You know, tight defense isn't. You know, it's better to play looser defense and be closer, and you know, stop the actual threats than play this tight defense all the time and then risk getting beaten to the open side in the end zone.
Yeah, it can be. Can definitely be better in a lot of situations to be a bit looser.
From the Revolution offensive line.
Maria Fernanda Galindo.
But they got a lot of cameras on this game, don't they? There's like non-stop replays on the point finishes.
And Megan, we talked so much about the superstars.
Ah, Joe Marmerstein, of course. How you doing? I've seen you commenting and things for and creating content as well for years.
That they trust, that they count on.
I thought Joe Marmer was a team. Maybe it should be.
Studs in the most important moments, but players like Santos, Enrico,
Before your first club practice back in 2012.
Galindo, and
Wow.
Montaña,
Oh, Joseph Marmerstein.
Uribe,
Wait, what?
all making important plays as well.
I'm so confused.
More about that a little bit this morning.
I don't understand what's going on in the chat at the moment.
I'm also looking at the chat.
Did you just log in? I think maybe he logged in on his other account to try and stop us being confused.
Looks like chat is developing its own meta game.
Yeah. Could be worried they're worried about Revolution hitting the crossfield to the back of the stack, which they do fairly often. Yeah, that's true. So maybe that close positioning is because the break side is more of a threat. But still, face marking can be punished quite easily as well.
I mean, after you go 2-0 up, right, up at the start, as Boston, I'd be like, yeah, like go ahead and take on that shot. Like we feel like we've got the advantage. Like go and take that risk. 3-0 up sounds good to us.
Yeah, I mean everything in defense is always a gamble, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So looks like Boston doing a flood thing again. They all set up here. They all run that way, and everyone runs under to the space that is newly created. It works quite well. I think is this trying to do? It's almost like she's trying to predict the play, but she's not looking at the downfield stuff. She's looking at the thrower.
I think the Revolution player closest to the disc in that space that's flooded out probably might be able to stick around and have a look if they can threaten that space and see if their defenders can help.
Yeah, what you mean, 91?
Yeah, if 91 turns around, sort of 33 comes a bit closer, tries to cover both players, because after that throw comes off, like there's 3 sort of inactive players who are unlikely to get thrown to for a bit. So
yeah,
I'd like to see that, like 91 try and hang out in that space.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think if I'm 91 here, then you see that is fake. You see that the force is there. You see that you've got 3 players running over in this direction, and you just start poaching off here. Could also poach under here, and then Mosquera over here comes running in quite hard. I guess no, this fake gets Mosquera coming in hard. Yeah, and so then she's free then for the huck down here after that throw goes. Okay, interesting. So pretty good, a pretty effective set of play from Boston. The Revolution defense is like thinking about doing something, and is kind of on their toes, kind of ready for something, but doesn't really preempt it enough, doesn't really smother it, and that score is generated by the good fake here, the well-timed fake, getting that defender biting in. Joe Marmerstein says, yeah, he did switch accounts. Okay. I still don't know who this is great is. It's a very nice throw. I'll just play things while I read this out. Number 3 should be the one staying. Yeah. Yeah. So and this player here is kind of doing that staying job anyway, but should be looking around and then follow that in. 91 does it, then it would just be a normal like flat break side pass to hit the person that she's stopped marking. So yeah, that would actually be easier to punish. So yeah, that's a good point, Joe. Let's just see that fake from here. So many cameras.
Adept at timing her cuts perfectly to set up throwers, to put up beauties.
Yeah, commentator's right. It was a nice timed cut, but it was timed by the thrower. The thrower was like, right, you go deep now. Good believable fakes. Get the best defenders committing on the field. So it gives you the best advantage in the hardest games.
Center to Valeria Cárdenas, and here's Gina Cartagena, the continue for Manuela Cárdenas, who rips a backhand deep. She's got
So
a
much
wide
separation.
open target. Just shy of the end zone is Maddie Fry.
Let's just quickly look at how she got that separation before we look at the follow-up. So they're doing a similar play. Everyone just bunches over here and then runs over the other side. Although no, they're not all doing that. In fact, maybe that's kind of what this defender thinks she's going to do. She goes across and she shades on the under massively for some reason, and then peels deep. And she's got like 10 yard separation already.
Cartagena, the continue for Manuela Cárdenas, who rips a backhand deep. She's got a
Okay, fast forward to where we were.
try.
No. Untravelled again. Ah, the observer stopping the play. Did the observer stop the play? Joey, maybe you can answer this one. Is the observer got any right to stop the play here? It looks like it's the observer stopping the play. For like a minor infraction that doesn't affect the outcome of the play as well. Joe, I'm guessing you know the answer to this because you've played and probably coached with observers present. Like, it looks like an active travel call to me. Oh, what are you saying? Pick over here? Oh, okay, it's a pick. Oh, yeah, they're stopped over here. Right. I should probably watch the whole clip before I make an assumption. So, just that pick over there. What? What's going on? Does she just want position? She just wants to get a different position on that player there. So that's a pick because she just doesn't have the right to kind of go anywhere she wants in the field. This is just my my pet hate for picks.
I don't get that pick. I don't. Is it because she's like the other players put her on the right side of her play and she wants to be on the left side of the play? Is like what she's saying?
Yeah. I think she just wants to get a better position and she runs into someone.
Can't quite see it clearly here.
Is it being blocked out by my oh, it's being blocked out by the chat.
Yeah, it's not the chat.
Yeah, sorry. Right, I'll get better at doing that. I'm going to stick something over my monitor so that so I'm aware of that in the future. Oh, actually, let me just let me move it so you can actually see. Otherwise, it's going to be super frustrating for you. If I move it down. This is advanced stuff we're doing here. Then you should be able to see. There we go.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, sorry to spend so long going over that without anyone able to see. So that kind of happens there. You see it? Anyway, spent far too long on that.
I don't know. It might kind of happen a little bit before as well.
Yeah, maybe.
Before it comes in screen. I'm not sure.
Middle of the field, halts play.
Okay, pick. Discussion. Yeah, Joe confirmed that the observers can't stop play. They can only enforce a call, or they can't actively stop play without a call being made. Well, even on, I thought that was maybe different on for up and down and in and out calls. Unless it's a red card worthy play. Maybe Joe, maybe confirm what the situation is with up and down or in and out calls and observers. Maybe they're not stoppages of play. Maybe they're just rulings.
Santos might be the future star for this team. Just 18 years old. One of the top defenders at U24 Worlds
it's
in
a great try.
Heidelberg, and
It's really nice.
Revolution back within one.
Like not the easiest throw, but sees the space and then puts the disc out to it. that through whilst I categorise.
Most of this team is from Medellin. A couple United States additions as well. A couple players from Bogota. Cartagena unmarked for the moment. Over to Santos.
I think if I was defender there, as the disc came back in, I'd be switching my force, try and force it to the sideline, try and trap them on that line. It feels like the force isn't really taking anything away when the disc comes back in.
Right, yeah. So rewind it. Yeah, because there's such little space here, right? I think a lot of teams do kind of tend to do that, force them towards the line so that they have to throw into this tiny space. The force is stepped back. I like the fact that there's like a couple of yards between the force and the thrower here, because that makes the short passes a lot harder, and really that's the kind of biggest threat, is that front corner short pass. And then the force is like really far away here. Maybe this is like a strategic thing they're doing. But I think it gets punished here. So there's a defender that gets tied up over on the far side. Here, yeah, she switches or poaches. I mean, it's probably a poach should be a switch kind of thing. So he's marking her, and then she sees there's an open cut to the open side, so she switches and covers it. Now this player here should immediately go and find the free player. As soon as they see that turn has happened, then boom, like this person is now being marked here. So yeah, they should immediately find their new mark. They would be in a better position to cover them than this poach who stopped the score over there and then gets scored on over this side. So it just needs that dynamic teamwork on defense to prevent that. But that's like a whole system, you know. You have to train players to be like, right, if someone switches and marks your person, you've got to find who they were marking as soon as possible. There's a slight pause. She doesn't react to the fact that her defenders ran away. Yeah, and the thrower has to like point. It's like, come on, like, so as a thrower, when you see a situation like this where, you know, there's an unexpected defender appearing, then it means that someone's free, you know. So she finds a free person, points to them, points to the space, and she makes the cut. And it's, you know, completely correct to cut away from the person that's poaching off you. Sometimes you see players try and like fight past them, but no, go away from the poach. And then this is a really nice throw just out into the space. Really nice.
It seems like from Brute Squad only like 3 to 4 players on the pitch were like available for this poach, and not even just one was actively trying to get this defense, abandoning her own mark. Like, the rest is sticking to the person, was clearly seeing, oh no, there's a score coming in.
Yeah, especially like this player here. I mean, this is just because most players have just trained one-to-one defense or zone, you know, like one or the other. And so when doing one-to-one, it's not that common to be super aware of everybody around you, right? Otherwise, you'd see that this player would see that this player is completely free and would be aware of that. But yeah, we're very much all taught to, you know, keep our eyes on our person and do our job and shut that person out. You know, but a little more awareness and a little more working together as a team actually gets you more advantage on defense. And you're right that not many of them were looking. Didn't look like many of them were looking to poach or to help out. Let's just see the thrower reacting. She sees that there's, yeah, she doesn't even fake. She knows, like she sees that there's double coverage over on the left, and she's just like, right, where's the person? She immediately looks for them and then points to the space. She takes a second to, it's like she's just chilling, and then she's like, oh yeah, that's me.
Excuse me, Cárdenas.
Yeah, I thought so. Cárdenas. Ravi, hello Ravi, how's it going? The legendary Eurozone host, along with Loon Grant, and Ulti-TV commentator, and every broadcaster commentator really, Ravi Vasudevan. welcome to the stream. In-out is active, he says, for the observer calls. But those calls don't stop play. Yeah, true. So it's not actually a stoppage, but it is an active call. So there's no way for the observers to actively stop play. Thanks for clarifying. Okay, let's find the next point. There it is.
Things that they can improve upon, especially in the mental game. Grignon Thomas picked up by Eliana Rico. And here's Schwam unleashing again.
Big offense, isn't it? It's like everything's just like spaced out.
Is open both ways.
Okay, whilst you look at the replays, I'll categorize this.
Lots of these throws taking up so much yardage.
Yeah, commentator's right. Every pass was, well, not every pass, but it's just a bigger field, right? Let's have a look on the big camera. Just so much spacing, so much distance between all these players. How is she that free? Like if the pool comes in there, and maybe there's like maybe they got the marking wrong here, because it looks like she's caught unawares and she's running in, and then she's like, oh wait, who am I on? And then find someone on the side. So maybe there is a bit of miscommunication on the marking. Does that lead to then that player being free? Yeah, because now Mosquera is marking this woman over here and just ignores the fact that this player runs past her. Like, we've got to help each other on defense, right? Like,
yeah, like it feels like Mosquera should be aware to cover that cut. Do you think the defender of the deep cut is coming in to try and get that disc, the front throw, or they just get roasted deep?
Yeah, no, they are. It does look like that. Well spotted again. Yeah, they do take a look.
Yeah, they're sitting out, just thinking, or maybe I can get in front of that.
Something about this Mosquera thing is that, you know, you do have to mark this player. You know, like I think it looks like she could score on most people that mark her. So Mosquera's probably like, right, this is my mission, and it's just you know, this player has not found their person and then takes ages to find them. Should be shouting at least, and then this player gets sucked in because that throw looks like it's gettable. I
mean, you'd rather have a mismatch than a free player, right?
Yeah, you'd hope so. Yeah, as Joe says, you know, Joe was actually saying what I was saying. Malinowski is who she's marking. Tall, deep threat. True, yeah, but I think in that kind of situation, you know, you got to go into like emergency defense mode. It's not your A plan, but you know, something's gone wrong, and you need to defend against the what's going to happen that'll lead to a score.
Will be going as strong as she is in 2019, but you know,
just see a little bit more. There we go.
I didn't imagine that she would still be going as strong as she is in 2019, but
and I mean, if your opponent is that inactive on the pitch, you have time for this. Like, prepare visual cues on the field, seeing where's your opponent, what's my other players doing.
Yeah, very true. It's not like she was preoccupied marking someone that's changing direction all the time. She had a second to look around.
Near the sideline, past the bidding Vicky Negus. Cartagena resets for Valeria Cárdenas. Caitlin Lee bouncing on the mark.
Bit of a backwards travel there.
Here's Manuela.
So, do you think this is like a different offense to what we saw before, or do you think have they maybe just gone to vertical stack towards the end zone? Let's just
they always work up to vertical stack in the end zone, which is fine. bit disturbing because it works so perfectly. They just have this short game, but then in the end zone.
Yeah, they get a little bit lucky with this throw. It's a bit of a sketchy decision.
Yeah, lucky to come away with that for sure.
Yeah, nice catch. With the feet as well, like you can't really see the line, but it's just these like slightly yellow part here. Yeah, so maybe not that close. It's hard to
Oh
tell.
wow, I didn't realize the line was that like close.
Yeah, I still don't
I
know.
keep
where the line
thinking
is.
it's like much closer to the boards. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it's oh, here we go. It's marked by this. So well, I don't know. It's hard to tell. Dinner's ready.
Watching frisbee, tough.
It's Friday night. Give me a break. Okay, here we go. That stack set in the end zone.
So two cutters from the front of the stack moving at once. They both stopped kind of at the same moment. That's the discipline.
And Joe, do you want to join on the voice chat? Are you in a position where you can chat on a headset or microphone or whatever? If so, I can send you a Discord link.
There was contact on that incompletion, but I think Cartagena acknowledging that.
Let's have a quick look at that. It's not a bad option. Is it a break? I mean, it's hard to tell, you know. She's like on that side, but she's on this side. I wouldn't be on that side, really. No, I don't know. She wants to see the area that she's gonna have a bid on. She has a bid, but you know, it's not touching the disc. It's hard to tell whether it bounces out of her hand before or after the contact. Okay. So Joe would like to join, but he's got an online workout. Everyone's doing online workouts now. Cool. Okay. Well, maybe next time, Joe. I think Tuesday, same time on Tuesday. If you want to join for that.
First turnover in a while. Deep shot testing
That's when we'll go over the second half of this game.
And her presence impacts Aaron Ray.
Oh, hang on a minute. I need to just give me 1 second to categorize these last two events. So I'll make a cut there, and I'll make a cut here, and there's this turn. So let's have a look at this. So deep throw goes up. So there is separation, but that's going to have to be like a ridiculous throw. Yeah, it just has to get much further than that. Don't have any flags for reference of wind either. But like the separation was there.
I'm impressed by like Cárdenas to realize she's never touching the disc in front and try and get around behind. It's actually like really good awareness to do that and not foul the offense.
Right, yeah. There's been too many turnovers, I can't keep track.
Chen shoots it downfield for Lee. Chen, that's gonna work.
Okay, I just need to check this. This is when. Okay, this is then fielding the pool. Alright, that's cool. We just put that there. And then this is turnover. Okay, and then this is their offense turnover. And then here's the score. Alright, cool.
Chen, that's gonna work.
Wait, there was another turnover in the middle that I missed.
There was a hand block
Right. Okay.
after the deep throw.
Yeah, there it is.
Oh, that OI flick is so. It feels like it gets close to a lot of defenders.
Which possession was that?
Like the throw for the score.
Okay. Yeah, nice block. Okay, throw for the score.
Chen shoots it down
Outside
field
in
for Lee.
flick. Let's go over all the players there.
It seems like Revolution is knowing different techniques in marking, like loose mark and a bit tighter mark, but always make the wrong decision at this point and get broken every time.
Right. It's interesting they've got like defender just hanging out over here as well. She always seems so casual, but she's so effective. Yeah, I think she's hunting, right? She's just hunting. She's like, okay. Yeah, and she chose something. And again, I think it's the thrower fake generating the score here. So, like, maybe something in the middle is a viable option. No, maybe it's not quite like that. But the fake communicates to her teammates to maybe cut the other side.
Does the cut even happen before the
No.
disc is? I think this throw might come out. Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
so I think actually she's trying to throw to number 2 here, right? And the fake is to get number 2 to change direction, which she does. And then it's a missed throw, which number 2 can't get, and just luckily goes into the end zone. Okay. All right, let's watch the hand block in slow motion. Oh yeah, and this one through the middle.
Defense on the mark, canceling the flick. And then
all through that last the last brute possession as well. There's a brute squad player sitting right at the back of the end zone, where one of the Revolution defenders poached off that really should be getting somewhere more active, somewhere gettable, threatening break side over the top. I don't know.
Yeah, so it's this player number 16. But it's the system, you know. So just kind of going down there with. I mean, there's 3 of them here. None of them look bothered. There's 2 people marking. This is why Cárdenas gets to chill out over here, because they're using their defenders efficiently at the back. And then when the cut does come out from those 3, it gets picked up. Yeah, that's quite interesting little move there. So it comes out here, and this defender here is like, well, I'm going to mark this. And then they do that switch, which we were talking about what Boston should have done earlier. Yeah, as soon as this player switches on there, then she goes back. In fact, she just doesn't bother marking the player coming under. So it's not really a switch. It's just she switches who she's marking, and the other player goes towards those 2 defenders, and then no one's expecting even the thrower wasn't expecting the disc to go break side at that point into the end zone. Revolution. So Joe Marmestein says Revolution also utilizing the far away mark when the disc is on the break sideline. Yeah, I think I was commenting on Boston doing that earlier. But yeah, just taking a few steps off the mark. Makes the flat accurate throws harder and makes the overheads more of an option. Also, like, stepping off on the mark is interesting because it makes like a smaller area just way less likely to get the disc. If you've got a really tight mark, it makes a large area slightly less likely to get the disc. But, you know, if the disc gets past the mark, it can go anywhere. Whereas when the mark's stepped further back, like they are there, then it means there's like definitely no flat throw going to this area here. Oh, on the voice chat, Ravi, we've got Noah from Brighton Club. Noah, say hello.
Hey, that's me.
And we got Kim from Goldfingers, Potsdam.
Hello.
Potsdam, Goldfingers received the Hex clinic a few years ago, and where did you finish pretty high, or did you? How did you do last season?
We won the 2nd league, so we're 1st division now. So
Nice.
and all playing Hex. We're never going back to play anything else.
Do you want to tell the story of the fields? Were you playing on the wet fields?
Yeah, like we had 2 pitches for the 2nd league, and on one pitch we never played on one pitch, and that pitch was destroyed after the weekend. Like every ultimate pitches destroyed after playing all day. And our pitch, which like had half the games were our games, was pretty okay because playing Hex is very environmentally friendly, I guess.
Yeah, so the same number of games are played, but
Exactly.
on the other field there's a lot of, you know, stacking, churning up the same areas of the field, but on yours everyone was spread out nice and evenly, so the grass got even use. I like that. It's an equal opportunity and environmentally friendly offense.
Again, they treat themselves as professionals. Everything about their season, their journey is about building towards being a professional team. He wants all of his players.
It's kind of like an attempted poach in one of the Boston players there, I think, number 17. She's pointing away and then doesn't pick up the under completely.
Okay, let's have a look again.
Just before this stoppage.
There's no game clock, unfortunately.
Of what's causing the poor performance and coming back to the team collective.
There's no question the strength of this team is.
So it looks like they're doing like a zone and they transition to 1-to-1. So this pointing here.
No, just one more throw. So like 17. There's this player coming in here, and that's going to get thrown to immediately, and that's going to come up the line, and that's got to be picked up right there, right? It's going towards the sideline, so it might be a tricky throw, but you'd like them to cover that sort of space.
What you mean their first throw after the stoppage, or?
No, the throw that could go just as the stoppage occurs.
Oh, okay. So looking just before the stoppage. Oh yeah, okay. So this player here, and then gets run past. Yeah, I mean in almost any system, when you have a offensive player running that's clearly free like this, you should pick them up and mark them. I think she does, but she's busy communicating with her team to try and get the far person marked.
I guess that's probably a bigger threat. Is there a person like right on this near sideline that we can't see or something?
There's this person
14.
here, but she's looking at the thrower and seeing the wind up, and being like, wait a minute, she's gonna throw to her. But yeah, and then just a little bit delayed. It's break side, so you have a little margin for error there.
U.S. Women's Club.
Sorry, I'll actually show that score rather than just fast forward past it.
All of his players to embrace that mindset.
Open side. Yeah, I mean we talk a lot about Revolution's like strategy and stuff, but they're hard to match physically as well. You know, just like hard cuts, open side. How are we doing for time? Okay, we've got 40 minutes left of the stream, and we've got what is 5-3, so half is like 8, I believe. That's normal, isn't it? Don't know about the US Open specifically, but I'd imagine it's 8.
That pull is a smidge too far.
Oh.
If only we could see the line.
Was it in? I can't see the line quick really.
I don't think we'll ever know.
Right. I would love to know the wind conditions for that pull.
Yeah.
Playing on the women's team, launching a backhand high in the air. Mosquera is roaming, and she easily snatches that.
All right. Let's. Okay. What? Why?
Ah.
Don't think we'll be able to see though. Oh, Mosquera comes from a long way away. So she throws to this. And it's a set play again. It's like an under from the middle and deep from there. She gets the shoulder in front. There's some separation. Definitely like gets the defender's body weight going this way instead. The throw's obviously a bit off. I mean, I think that's not too bad an option because I think I trust them to normally make that throw. But they messed up the execution of it, and Mosquera is very good at playing. Eats it up deep. Poaching defense.
Snatches that away. A throw that Tajima certainly will want back. And Valeria Cárdenas launching it. Mosquera in pursuit.
Let's have a look at that.
Being double happiness.
Yeah. Not much separation when the disc is released, but like lateral separation. So, you know, because she's got like a large part of the field over here, then it's very easy to box out and much easier to throw to. Where does the deep cut starts from here? She's just insanely fast. She just runs from here. That's just starts to deep cut there.
Yeah, Joe points out leaving Valeria unmarked is also a bad idea.
Yeah. So yeah, what you should maybe stayed on the mark here. Stop the huck. Bam. Yeah, it's the A game, isn't it? Nice.
That's what Valeria is known for. Majestic hucks. A break for Revolution back within one.
Amazing closing speed and vision by Mosquera. Yeah, with the deep poach. Her mark wasn't a threat at all, and she saw that. Yeah, it's kind of what we were saying earlier. When you're marking someone who's clearly not active in the play, then you have that second to look up and help out on defense, and that's exactly what she did this time.
Some throwers just have the innate ability to throw with incredible.
So many cameras. So many cameras.
Another pull. Quick mark, because that disc never came back in bounds. So near midfield is where Brute Squad started.
Midfield. Can you middle the disc? So it's not. That's not the brick mark, is it? It sounded like Evan said midfield. Maybe
This one forward, and it'll be even beyond the brick mark.
yeah, it is.
Disc never came back in bounds.
So that I don't think that's a rule in UK anymore. I think no. Yeah, you can't middle the disc in the UK. If it goes out, then you take it. You can take it from the line, or you can brick it. But you have to take it from the line where it went out, right? You can't take it from the middle, parallel to the line, perpendicular to the line, to where it went out on the line. I think that was changed in like 2017. Can anyone clarify that? Yes, in USAU, if it goes out of bounds, you bring it to the middle. Right, so you can bring it in. Oh, good. You can bring it into the middle of the field, perpendicular to where it went out. Okay, that's different. Okay, let me just go through this offense in speedy mode. Hopefully the FPS keeps up. So they start with side stack. Looks like something going on over here. Okay, right, something weird was going on. Alright, so you get active cutter there, but then you've got these three defenders just shepherding the disc over to the side, like towards that side stack. Then they all clear out, and then they're supposed to have someone come in, but there's defenders all over the place now. So this could be just really quick adaptation, you know, being like, right, they're running that set play again. What we're going to do is, you know, shepherd people over to there, and then have defenders that are already over there hanging out. Yeah, look, she knows She knows that that's the task, is just stop this space here. Oh, almost gets the D. Again, there's like no switch. Like at this point here, okay, she's coming in for a bid on that. And it's tricky. It's a split second thing that we're slowing down to being very long. But yeah, if you're able to peel off that and cover the free deeper threat at that fraction of a second notice, that's the thing to do, I think. Everyone's got one-to-one marking down now. There's a little switch there. Do you see that at the back? Mosquera's mark comes under. Valeria takes it. Oh, and then that second switch too. Oh, and then almost a D on that. So switches to take the under. As soon as they go deep, leaves and takes the under again. And this under comes from over here. So they've actually got 3 against 3. This defender is just marking 1 though, so it's 2 against 2 really. Breaks the force inside out, threatens the around, poach stops it, hits the inside out, and throws the around. It's just too far, really. I mean, that really kind of could be a score. It's probably the force standing off here makes this difficult, though, right, Joe?
Yeah, I would agree with that. Definitely got to throw it though. Still,
yeah.
I don't think it's enough that you shouldn't throw the disc.
What kind of throw? You know, what kind of throw should it be, assuming there's no wind? I think I'd.
Yeah, I'd still go knifey flick.
Yeah. Yeah, just obviously, you know, a bit higher and a bit slower.
A wrong side for a hammer. It's a scuba throw, if at all.
Yeah, or lefty hammer.
Let's look at the switches again, because there was I like the switches that happened, but there was already enough traffic in the middle who created a very narrow window for the throw to actually been passed.
So these ones here with the deep defenders.
Exactly.
Takes the reset for Schwam.
Okay, so
Starts to team it a Synchro.
yeah, I mean it's a very narrow window anytime. Oh, she just like laid out immediately. So you got this player here clears out that space. This is a big space here now. It's yeah, so you can see all the defenders are interested in helping. Like you see this defender here is interested in helping as well, right? So that kind of helps make that window smaller and encourages them to move the disc further and right around to the far side. They end up hitting loads of inside outs in a row after threatening the around. Threaten the around, hit the inside out, and then throw the around. I think maybe actually like stepping across and doing a scuba that comes down flat or inside out would actually be nice in this situation. So just fake that flick quickly, step across, and then pop the scuba up. But any wind and it becomes a much harder throw. Joe says an underrated part of the switches is that some of the switching only works because you have players like Manu and Mosquera who can cover a ton of ground. Not that the principles are wrong, but some of the specific switches would be tougher to pull off for less athletic teams. Yeah, that's true, but then the teams, if you're less athletic, the team you're playing against is also less athletic, right? So providing this, you know, you're not calling them when there's ridiculous amounts of space involved. If it's all about the relative speeds of the players, then yeah, the principles, as you say, the principles are still good. But the athleticism, you know, is also equalized. So I don't think training this kind of switching is something that should be saved for elite teams. You know, I think this kind of switching should be introduced to players early on, and then developed in an elite way by the elite teams.
What do you think of this timeout call here? Like, it feels like Revolution kind of have the momentum, and then
Right.
I guess they seem a bit separated. Like the offense seems separated. Seems like there's a lot of players deep, but
Yeah, they played deep for quite a while. They want to make sure of the score. You know, they're already struggling a little bit just to get that first pass off. And I think so. Actually, I did see this when the player goes to pick up the disc. I think she's suggesting a timeout. Yeah. Look. So I think she wants a timeout. She wants a timeout, and then I think either teammates or coach says, no, we're good. And then I think she gets the disc and is like, right, that's it, timeout.
I mean, yeah, after making that sort of play to get the disc, you might be like, yeah, probably should have been a timeout.
Yeah.
You're vindicated after getting that sort of disc.
Or it could even be like, yeah, we'll call a timeout. I'll just get the first pass and then I'll call timeout.
Yeah, get it off the sideline, yeah.
Yeah. Hammer. So hammer's always a good option, right? Yeah, like I said, the lefty hammer in that situation for that particular throw.
Or thumber, now that I think about it.
Yeah, thumber. But the thing with thumbers is they slip out your grip because there's such little skin contact you have with the disc that any sweat means it like so it slips out. Maybe coach. Yeah. Sorry.
Who practices these anyway?
Yeah, I used to practice thumbers. I was always really disappointed when I messed them up in the game, though. That's why I realised it's the sweat.
They'll never get game ready anyway.
Yeah, so Joe says they probably wanted to get the disc off the line and then call a timeout, but they ended up getting up the line. But then they weren't line trapped at all, airing it out for Mosquera. Uncharacteristic. Nice, like spacing again. Like, what offense is this? This is the setup after a timeout, right? So it's like mega hex. Like you need like another player over here, and then like 2 players on the front of the end zone. So it's interesting to see that with that in mind, like the movement and then they adopt. You know, so much space once Mosquera goes up line. And then when she gets it, then she's got this connected cut here. She's got another connection over here. And the other players become active. And maybe because it was mega hex that they were a bit too deep.
I feel like I'd be very used to seeing that set up indoors. Like I've seen people line up 2-2 like that so many times. See that exact cut where basically 2 of the corners switch.
Right.
Like it works.
Is this indoors 5v5?
Yeah, and then like having one person sitting deep in the end zone.
Are these people on the pitch? I thought they were on the sideline. I was like, yeah, they're just watching from the side, and then they all start running, and I'm like, wow, that's really.
Oh my god! Wait! Seriously,
Yeah.
I definitely thought they were off the pitch.
Oh, I haven't seen it as well.
I thought it was really active sideline. I was like, wow, they're following the play.
Really didn't realize they were playing.
Do you think? I think the plan here is always to get it to Mosquera deep. It might just seem like that as well, but she goes deep, catches this, and then they realise the spacing and the timing is a bit off, and so she kind of starts coming under, but then she goes deep again. Guns the sidearm.
It's a super impressive throw.
Yeah, I mean it's all right. We don't know about the wind, but the distance is like pretty good. But you know, it's obviously not ideal.
Might help her out as well if that was actually fading more to the left. If it did come down a little bit more OI, then Mosquera wouldn't have to get all the way around it.
Yeah, true. Yeah, you want to be aiming for like this area here, don't you? But in the end, you know, it's a floaty disc that's going into the end zone or just outside the end zone. So you kind of want Mosquera to be getting them, but the defense does well, you know, to commit at the right time. not give up position too hard, but then Mosquera didn't really box her out at all. So
Felix, what do you say about Mega Hex? The next step?
The next step.
Revolution.
Yeah, could be. Maybe when it's like not windy. You just...
I thought about the point a few people in the chat were making with the athletic players. If I have like 2 or 3 who can sprint faster than any other in the opponent team, I would put this as a setup and then go back to the Hex again.
Yeah. I mean, you might as well take advantage of what you have, right? So
exactly.
set it up to take that easy win if the defense give it to you, and if not, then fall back on Hex. Super Dog says weird decision. Yeah, pretty weird decision, but a floaty disc above Mosquera is normally a good thing. Malmsteen says okay decision. Mosquera is already very deep. Yeah, it would have to be a really far throw. Valeria throwing 1v1 hot to Mosquera is usually a good bet. Yeah, exactly. It's usually a good thing. That's good separation.
Gorgeous put.
Yeah.
Great layout. Brute Squad delivers.
Yeah, that's safe. So that stack, pop it to the inside out channel. So we'll see whether Revolution adjusts their defense to stop this inside out channel, which has been used a lot against them. This makes continuation on the break side much easier. Well timed cut for the continue. Dropping off on the force here to try and stifle this break side flow. Yep, can't get that one off. Hit the open side. Swing back to the break side again. Force maybe massively overcommits. Maybe it's a middle. Dropping off on that force again. Fake to initiate the play. We saw this earlier on the accidental throw to the end zone. Just fake like that to get the player going for the inside out channel. Here's that inside out channel again. And then the open huck. Let's see where the cutter comes from.
It's almost, yeah, I see it, a pick.
Yeah,
I think it was like maybe Mosquera is in the space that defender would like to be.
Yeah, she has to go through Mosquera. Yeah.
I prefer to see a better communication than Mosquera being the one chasing down that deep throw. Might have a better chance. I mean,
yeah.
Still right on the edge of that Brute Squad's player's reach, so I think it would be unlikely. But
no, and Mosquera was busy as well.
As you said, just a little bit forced.
Like yeah, her player was active and moving. Let's see this layout. I mean, the layout was really to make the catch safe. It wasn't like a full stretch thing, but yeah, good form and high level of safety with that throw, with that catch. Yeah, slows down the run just for the last step or two, and the crotch spike afterwards. Didn't see that. Oh, I don't get to see it there. There's the crotch spike. No, never mind. Wait, no, gotta find it. Okay, here we go. I know it's here because this is the main cam. Okay, crotch spike. Oh yeah, just a subtle one. Maybe it's in the first replay.
And then I loved watching Zoo.
No, okay, right. Next point.
Jack Verju lost the battle of 2019.
6-4 Brute Squad side stack.
That's a sideline. The very active one.
Yeah, so active.
Underneath, it's Fry. Downfield for Mosquera.
Okay. Flow stopped. Oh, good force. Oh, unbelievable catch.
Able to hang on with Tulsa Douglas, putting the pressure on.
Into the end zone set. So they just need a few passes to get up towards the end zone, and then they're quite comfortable outside the end zone running their vertical.
And that's in the end zone.
It's very comfortable.
Great downfield spacing.
I mean, there was a lot of space downfield. I wouldn't say that the spacing was great, but there was a lot of space.
Santos to have that
Maybe that's just an interpretation of what the words mean.
You know, I was gonna say the same
Semantics.
thing. The handler.
So yeah, I mean it's pretty standard, just like running over to the far side out of the side stack. Able to just get the disc in the hands, and then a bit of patience, and then let's see where the.
What do you think of the thrower? Like they hit that sort of, they hit the undercut and then they run all the way up to try and get it again. It kind of feels like it stifles that throw. Stifles the flow. Sorry, when the disc comes onto the sideline. Yeah, there.
Okay. So yeah, this throw from the halfway line up to Mosquera, and then she runs down. I mean, it stifles the flow because no one fills in that space. So if they were playing, well, I mean, if you follow the principle of, you know, fill the space as you see it being vacated, then this player moves out. There should be one of these two players going back immediately, and so when that pivot happens, there should be an option of someone like here to either get the disc here, or if the force comes over, to then hit the inside out. But
yeah, but I know what he means. She like draws the attention of the thrower, and it's not a good in this situation.
Yeah, true, and then doesn't give an option, and you know, she wasn't like free, so maybe actually just sprinting up to this point and stopping just right there, then her player will go past, and that would be quite good timing potentially if the thrower looks back at that time. So yeah, that could have contributed to the lack of flow, and then the force does really well to like stop that pivot, and that's a nice like routine for a throw, isn't it? Step out low, they've stopped it, pop the high one out, but it's inaccurate, and the defender has a bid, but it's a great catch. So they came very close to getting a D there. And that's from like an around, stop the around on the sideline force. The scoring cut comes from over here. There's no need to be this tight. There's no need to mark this tightly over here, I think.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, it's the tight marking thing again. Joe says, but there's crossfire another game in the same tournament. 322. 322? I don't know. I can't see any timestamp. 322. I don't see any time. Anyway, really. Yeah, so the one-to-one marking, you know, people do mark very, very tight, but that it basically kind of says that you have to be faster than your opponent if you're actually gonna like stop them.
Faster if you were able to react to them instantaneously. Yeah. Like you can be faster than them and still give yourself a little bit of time to just react to what they're doing.
Yeah.
Being that close says you think you're so much faster than them that you're willing to let them react, probably take a couple steps on you and catch up with them. Which, you know, quite a statement.
Yeah, it's almost like I don't know. It's almost like so many defenses. Everyone's working on just being stronger and faster, but it feels like there should be a lot more work on like teamwork. You know, let's play together. Let's help each other. Can't post links. Yeah, probably can't post links in the chat. US Open women's highlights from 2019. Oh yeah, okay. Crotch spike stuff. You can add it in the comments on the video afterwards. So everyone can catch up on the latest crotch spikes. You see the defense here. So you remember this worked in the first point, and now like there's a defender just completely ready for what they're going to play. Yeah. So at this point, Revolution has stopped Brute Squad's A game, stopped their first plan, and completely stopped it. You know, by having this poach. They do well though to get the disc to the poach player.
It feels like it should be matched by someone else being more ready on the other side of the pitch, you know what I mean? You've got to be in balance if you're putting everyone, putting a player on that side. There should be readiness to intercept a throw that goes to the other sideline. It shouldn't really be that player's responsibility to get all the way across the pitch as they do.
Yeah, you're right. It's Mosquera. Again, though, Mosquera with the big job, right?
Mm-hmm.
So does that to weigh up
front
as well?
Stack is probably a little bit too risky to take too many steps off. Like that inside's been going all day, so.
Yeah, and like Joe said, when the front of stack poaches off somewhere, then there's going to be an open, easy pass.
Marks do. They don't worry so much about the stall count. They will back off the player they're guarding to try to cut off the angle.
Just quickly, if you guys are enjoying this experience, then drop a like, give it a little thumbs up on YouTube. That'll mean that more people see the video, and we'll get more people joining us on Fridays and Tuesdays for the live streams. The more the merrier.
And then she'll creep toward the handler. You can stall once you're within 10 feet. Good squad, too good though. Offensively, Tajima to Trope.
Okay, and I wasn't looking at that because I was categorizing. All right. So over to the middle. Is it a force middle? Because the force definitely looks like it's away from the camera here.
Yeah, feels like it.
And then towards there. In which case, this is a perfect cut, right?
And again, she carves off the angle, and then she'll creep toward the handler.
Oh, nice lefty backhand, just for the quick handler move. Is that face marking too? Not a fan of the face marking. As soon as you see the back of a defender's head like that, you know that you've got the advantage as a thrower. Pops the lefty, it's lovely, and then you got the force on your back. Like, yeah, it's such a nice move, this little one here, just to, it's like a penetrating move. So then you're in front of the two defenders at that point.
It turns number 8, I think that's Valeria Cárdenas' head as well. Like, if she was continued looking at the stack, I think that option may have got shot down. But the inside does take her attention just for a split second.
Number 8, I think, is on force here. Is that who you're talking about?
Yeah, the one whose mark falls over, and then they're hanging out. It's the same player as before.
Oh, okay, over here. Yeah.
You just look at that inside, just as the cut comes from behind them, which is super smart from the cutter at the back.
Yeah, like she hesitated to go.
Yeah, it's almost like she never actually saw behind her. She went to the space here being like, oh, I should go over there. But then she went back to kind of find her person. You know, but it's very difficult. If you start doing stuff like that, like if she immediately then looked around and ran towards this player, you know, yeah, maybe that's ideal, you know, when we're able to go through it this slowly, but then it makes this player then have to go over here and potentially the other thrower go over there, and then we'd be talking about this player should pick up whoever goes over there. Like, it's very hard to do this stuff in real time. You know, but I like, that's a great spot again. You're seeing things that you know I'm bypassing. So yeah, those, she definitely could have helped out there. She was waiting for a cut from the front, says Joe. Yeah, maybe from this player. Maybe she was, yeah, because you got to be worried about this space right here. That's the danger space, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wasn't ready for a cut from the back.
I don't know. This definitely depends on the offensive system you're running, but I would be putting players like having my dump handler come a little bit forward so that inside doesn't go, so the front of the stack cut isn't as potent, and let the around go a little bit more. But that's definitely something that's different between what offense you're playing, what defense you're playing. Sorry.
Starting a little bit farther away, pulling in closer.
Okay, next point. We've got 10 minutes left of the stream, and maximum 3 points left in this game. Till half time, that is. Potentially 1 point.
And Synchrope, they lost a player of Tennell's stature and just kept on winning.
So they flowed with the disc. They flowed the disc over to the far side, even though the stack's over on the near side. So then there's a bit of delay for the cut.
Leela and her brother Dylan were here in Minnesota this week, coaching their Amherst
Should go deep,
YCC
shouldn't
team.
it? Shouldn't fancy it.
One of the great brother-sister combinations in the history of the sport, for sure. Here's Cartagena.
Yeah, they clearly have like a couple of very distinctive
Try back to
or
Gina.
different styles. You know, the last
And again,
couple of offenses we've seen.
downfield.
No pick or anything. The last couple of offenses we've seen have been
And again, great
this like side stack with like loads of space in front of the disc. Cutters with, you know, a few seconds to make their move. Deep under to the sideline, under to the middle. Yeah, that comes under here and attacks the sideline. So like loads of space in front of the disc, which is kind of different to the way that they were playing offense earlier, I feel.
It feels like almost everyone eventually ends up throwing to the first player they look at as well. You know, even if they're not taking them on the first cut, like they let them have sort of 2 to 3 cuts to get free.
Yeah.
It's almost feels like almost all the way up the field. It's the thrower is locked onto the person, which is definitely a style sort of thing.
Yeah, and gives them time and space. Yeah, each person, they got loads of space, so you just give them time and then they get free. So you can see here she's coming across and there's somebody like nearish her and she calls pick and then she's like, nah. Nah, that's not a pick, is it? So
Wait, was that retracted then?
yeah, it's retracted.
Yeah, okay, cool. I was gonna say that's definitely a dubious pick, but good to see it retracted.
Yeah. This could be another thing of like marking too tight. Or maybe too loose. Is that break side? I think it's break side, right?
Yeah, it's break side.
It's a very straight up mark actually, but maybe the whole way it's like pretty straight up. Yeah.
Maybe force middle? They're forcing mid? It's pretty flat.
Yeah, no, this one's away. And then looks like she just kind of gets...
No, that's on the line.
And look at the downfield defending as well. Like, it's a mixture, but it's generally away. Like,
Yeah.
so I think maybe that's break side and just well timed.
It's so tight though. There's 2 players on the front of the stack. They're giving them like a foot of space, maybe.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, it's the American style thing of putting the hand on the hip as well to see where they're going. I think.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not a fan of it, but I can see the benefit. But you know, I'd rather just be standing like 4 or 5 feet off. I guess the break side does go that side time though, so it shows you got to be close to these athletic Revo players.
Joe Malmsteen says, I did an Ultra-World film room back in the day on positioning and communication Brute uses to move the disc off the sideline, both trap and break side. They're very good at it. So, in my opinion, it's not as easy as giving the swing up a little more because they can take advantage of that a lot as well. Yeah, Brute Squad, you know, are very good at that stuff and practiced at it, so whatever you give them, they are likely to take.
I guess you do feel even if the insides are coming, maybe you do feel like you've got a better chance of getting a deal on an inside throw than an around, even if the around takes longer to get up to the end zone.
Yeah, inside throws kind of go to the left of one defender and the right of the other defender, so that can like mean that you've got more of a chance of a bid, whereas arounds are like away from all the defenders, right?
Colombia taking the silver medal in Poland at 2017 World Games. beating the USA in pool play was a titanic achievement. In the red zone.
Okay, let's have a quick look at that. Just working the disc up pass by pass, not really any flow. And then I think it's just a missed throw, right? She's pointing, like, no, go on the inside. So they do love that inside channel. They do love keeping the disc over on this break side as well. And then she just doesn't change direction or doesn't commit to it. Yeah, she starts pulling out of it.
There's two like high release backhands there as well, which I feel like I may have thrown as a scuba or tried to throw as a scuba. Like that, I don't know, for me, like the high release OI backhand is not something I'm particularly comfortable with, and maybe these throwers are just way better than me. But
well, I think it's a more practiced throw. You know, I think, yeah, I think that's, and it's yeah, it's more practiced, I'd say. So it's more regular kind of to throw.
Was a kind of last option release because the store count was pretty high, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, it could have been.
perhaps, yeah.
She was standing there for a few seconds, faking roll around.
Let's have a little count, shall we? It's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. I mean, I was counting a little bit faster, but it's still 7. So it's getting high. It's getting high. You know, you're starting to run out of options. But I think the cutter just pulled out of the move. Okay, what's this offense now? This is not the side stack offense. This is the like flowy offense, and just a throw over the head. You know, so they're just moving the disc around. This nice spacing and stuff, and then it's just you know, potentially sees this poach coming, and that puts her up a little bit. Nice catch in the D there. It's something that coaches will no doubt have shouted hundreds of times. Catch your Ds. Oh, sorry for black screen. Just in categorization stuff. That was a turnover.
Revolution turns it back. Schwam rips it away.
Nice catch.
Revo got their break back to make it.
That's frustrating, isn't it? Like, player free in the middle.
Revo got their break.
Yeah, you shouldn't move towards that defender. Okay, good with this now. Another nice catch. Timeout. Yeah, good call. I like that call. Just situationally.
But it was an interesting offense of Revolution. I would have liked to see how that would go further down the pitch.
Yeah, I was enjoying it as well. It was a bit hexy, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That does. Yeah, when Mosquera picks up the disc, like second, third pass, that is like pretty perfect hex shape.
Yeah. Yeah. Just the spacing and stuff. You can see the triangles all over the place. But was not to be. I mean, it looks like that side stack kind of offense is working really nice for them. Maybe that's their O-line offense and this is their D-line offense.
Jackson, veteran Brute Squad coach, in his 5th season at the helm. Brute Squad. When they took down Riot and all the pieces came together. Final was a classic. All the finals that year were incredible.
I stayed with some of Brute Squad when went to Boston with the Asia Oceanic All Stars, and I was on the filming crew. They're really cool. We had a little house party actually, and played some beer pong and hung out on the roof. Had like a nice roof terrace.
Shao back to Amber Cinecrope.
Ooh.
Well executed, but sliding Cassie Wong was on the line, so she's not in.
Oh,
but
nice
now
quick
she
pass.
is. Synchro to Wong.
Okay,
Squad
so
Riot game and that Revolver Ironside game.
Definitely not in on that first
Finals of
catch.
Nationals I've ever
Looks,
seen.
looks like she might have it before she's in. Before, might be in before.
maybe. We can have a look at that.
Liga Shao back to Amber Synchro.
So I'm aware that this is the last point before half, and we're pretty much at the end of the stream. Yeah, it looks like her knee is on the line. I think we'll probably see that again in the replay. Let's have a quick look at. I mean, this is quite a patient offense, you know, and it's very disciplined. Yeah, if you look at the stack, yeah, there's always a stack, right? There's a stack. There's 3 people. There's 4 people. There's 4 people still. There's 4 people again. You know, like it's a very disciplined offense they're running here, which is why there's so much like space on the field.
But it's also
sorry.
But it's also good. It's also good defense because Revolution was so flexible in these few passes that they always challenged the first pass they could have scored.
Yeah, and there's not really any deep scoring opportunities or any lots of tight marking on the field.
As the disc comes in, it's I think Manu's like coming around to sort of bracket the stack as well.
Yeah.
Coming into that break side space.
Yeah, she is just suddenly
before.
like, it's a good time to do it, but only if your team knows what you're doing, right? They working together?
I mean, you'd hope the second in the stack would pick up that undercut.
I don't know if anyone's done it. I think she's just been like, I've got a dead one. You know, my person's still going to do anything, so I'm just going to go over here. I don't know how she's known that, but she's right, because, you know, literally her job is to
I mean, that does cuts from the front and back, right? So, I mean, if you've noticed that, then that's definitely something you can pick up on in game. If you see the front that you're marking like 4th player and this cuts are only coming from the front and back, then
yeah,
3rd player even.
Yeah, the middle of the stack is most likely to be the person that doesn't do anything. I think she's doing like ladders, like agility ladder practice over here. That looks a lot more like the agility training than what I normally see in Ultimate.
People like to complain about Rockford, but the only time I've been to Rockford, we saw that Brute Squad Riot game, and
another kind of like poach here. I think she hangs out. She hangs out in space. Yeah. As soon as she realizes my person's clearing out, then she's like, "Here's the active cut," and she goes and covers it. The other defender doesn't react, but I think that's kind of how they play. You know, I think their superstars have just got license to poach. However, the offense does, you know, just does perfectly. As soon as the poach happens, communicate, go out, get the disc. They should be scoring from here. Really, there's no timing on the next cut. If anything, this defender's done really well to go into that space, predict the play. So there's no continue, but they're happy with, you know, they don't rely on flow. You know, they rely on structure and discipline. So then they're able to get that pass off. Big fake. Look at the separation from that fake. Faking with both hands. Maybe like one. No, that fake was good as well. Get onto the break side. Threatening the break side. Discipline not to stare downfield for too long. I know that in this situation I'd probably look downfield for 5 seconds. I shouldn't, but like as soon as it's like, right, nothing's being built here, I'm not going to be able to throw to this one, then immediately throw there. And if this pass here had gone like laterally over this way, then this pass here could have gone. That could have been a score. That could even be like next level thrower. Be like, okay, she's cutting over there. I can't make that throw, but if I can throw to someone over here, they can make that throw. Imagine making that calculation in your mind and then turning around and the person's running the other way. You're like, oh no.
What do you think about how like the dump for Boston like comes almost like completely behind them, and then seems like sometimes the Revolution players are poaching off and switching between the marks, and sometimes they're not. But what do you think about that from an offensive perspective?
Yeah, they do that quite a lot, and that's probably why they're looking back at the dump a little bit earlier. From an offense perspective, I think it's fine to surround the disc if your defender isn't on you, because from this position, like the throwing lanes are completely cut off, and as soon as the disc goes back here, then you can even be a little bit further back and you've got more space over here. But obviously the disadvantage when you have a stack and you have that dump being backwards and behind is that then when they get the disc, they've got a limited number of connections, like connected players that are options. And the stack is then, an extra, say the dump is like 7 yards, then the stack is then an extra 7 yards away. So either everyone has to move under 7 yards or you have to get the dispatch to the person that threw it to you, or you just have to wait few seconds for someone to get free. But this is what Evan called spacing. I wouldn't say spacing, but they just have this huge amount of space on the field, and they're comfortable, using that space and taking their time to use that space.
I mean, yeah, like Boston are optimizing their field space, whereas like from a Hex perspective, you're probably optimizing your player space. So we're trying to maximize our space between players, where they're just trying to push as much space, put as much space on the field.
Manning says
it's almost like it's a disadvantage to play 7 against 7 in the system.
Manning says that they're disguising surrounding the stack, where I've definitely reminded that as well. It's something we do in Brighton. If surrounding the stack is really, really, really effective, then sometimes we disguise that we're doing it and pretend we're not surrounding the stack, so that then they'll carry on stacking against us. And doing this late change, so everyone stands on one side, and then boom, suddenly you're surrounding when the disc is in, can really throw a team off. I'm not sure that's what they were doing, but
clever rules.
Indeed. Lefty throwing, huge. Lefty throwing, right-handed dump for an easier throw. Oh, yeah, okay. Wait, so she fakes that lefty there, so she's right-handed. Ah, she's lefty. Yeah, nice. Yeah, that's definitely a righty backhand. I mean, it's definitely the right throw. Yeah, quick hands as well. And really good of this player to, go for that as well. Like, it seems obvious, right? But you'd be surprised how many people would pass and then clear out or try and set up their next cut. Cool. I think
20 number 20 not face marking there as well. I know like many people in that situation would just set the face mark on number 10 to try and stop the throwback like at all costs from that player on the sideline.
Yeah.
Facing the disc still. Maybe she gets beat because of it, but
I mean, she does put a lot of pressure on that, on her getting the disc over here. Like, she does bank on that almost, and then she almost gets there though. Again, it's about taking gambles, and
I think she was betting on a different mark from number 13.
Oh, a different mark from the force here.
Yep. Was catched offhanded.
Yeah, 13 gets kind of sucked in, doesn't she, over here? And then it's just a step behind on the follow. Yeah. All right, but great by Boston to kind of take what they're given, and then Colombia are like trying to show them different things and putting in the plays when needed. We'll start rounding off the stream. Kevin Christian says number 10 with the drop break throw instead of stepping out to throw the inside break. Let's have a look at that. Number 10 with the drop break throw. Which throw are we seeing? This one? Yes. Okay. Oh, we saw actually Kichikawa doing this on the last stream, didn't we? almost sitting on the floor to get that breakout. Yeah, if you don't need to pivot out wide, and when you got a force this far away, then the distance that you pivot is less important. The drop is to maybe help with the angle as well. Get it inside out, and also get the front of the disc up a bit. It's a very tight window to throw in. But yeah, she does it well with that. But yeah, you don't really need to step out when the force is that far away, I think. Or at least it makes less kind of difference. And it is quick, you know. Like if you can throw without pivoting, then that's a good thing generally. Sets you up for the throw and go is a longer term kind of technique thing. Marked space might be worse, at least in Ultimate. Marked space might, I'm not sure what that means. Cool. Okay. Let's have a look. See, I think that is half time now. Here's the we can see replay of the drop break. Oops. Yeah, it's good
Alex
technique.
says on the face marking that face guarding is worse if the mark can't help out. That's what he's saying at the end.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Yeah, drop break seems to be a fair term. Not something you have in your throwing arsenal. Worth practicing. Yeah, we saw Kichikawa do it loads for Japan. Similar kind of technique, just like dropping the body to the floor, almost sitting on the ground. I recommend players like get their hips close to the ground when they go for either like when they do pivot throws, basically, instead of like leaning over, bending over, then actually just dropping your body weight to the ground can be a really good technique. Sweet. If you've enjoyed this live stream, you know, drop a like. The video will stay up for a while at least, so you know, share the link if you think your team would enjoy watching it. We're going to be streaming again on Tuesday. Noah, thank you very much for joining. Kim, thank you very much for joining as well.
Yeah, thanks Felix. Thanks for having me.
Pleasure.
And I think that's it from me. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks to everybody for joining in the chat. Don't worry about missing it. Kevin, you can watch it back as well. You won't be able to interact live, but you'll be able to watch all the video back. And I'll be back on Tuesday, 6 o'clock UK time, which I think is like 2 o'clock in quite a few places in America, maybe East Coast America. I will go get Rue to say goodbye, actually. Something that you've missed from the stream. Let me just go fetch my cat. Rue, come say hello. Come say goodbye. Right, here's Rue. Say goodbye, Rue. Bye-bye, viewers. Thanks for watching, everybody. Stay safe, have a good weekend, and I'll see you soon.
Oh, yeah. Yes, you're good. Yeah. Oh, yeah.